Dear Heavenly Father, bless this wonderful day. Bless each and every day, because we think it's wonderful. And give us the knowledge and the power which we have here at the council to improve the quality and quantity of the lives of our Cherokees. Because I personally think that that's what we're here for. And thank you for helping us so much over the last 6 years. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Do roll call, Michelle?
Ed Walkenstick. John Garvin.
Honey.
Bill Anglin.
Here.
Keith Austin.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Harley Buzzard. Joe Byrd.
Honey.
Sean Crittenden.
Honey.
Tracy Hargis. Wanda Hatfield. Rex Jordan. Dick Lay.
Here.
Curtis Snell. Janice Taylor. Here. David Thornton.
Honey.
Victoria Vasquez. Brian Moore.
Honey.
We do have a quorum.
I hear a motion to approve the minutes November 16th,
I'll make
2015.
that motion. Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Down to reports, we got Miss Diane Kelly from Talking Leaf Job Corps.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and Merry Christmas to you and all the council members from Career Services.
Thank you.
I was just very pleased to see Councilman Buell Anglin with our shirt on today. Thank you for the PR. We appreciate it. I'm kind of like you when you were saying the prayer about all the good things that's going on. We have to count our blessings every day down there for the many people that we see and the hardships that they're having when they come in to see us. And we're always thankful when we can do something to assist them with either training or jobs, because that's basically what we're all about. And when we can help them, that's what we're here for, and we're pleased to do that. And if you know of anybody out there in your districts that we can help by assisting them, please give us a call. We'll do what we can. We had graduation last week with our culinary at Tulsa Tech, and we had it there at the Hard Rock for our first culinary class out of Tulsa Tech for Owasso. And Eric Shoemaker has indicated that he will work hard to try to get all of them placed, because he said they need the help there at the Hard Rock. And then we'll start another class in January, or after January. It'll be in February when we start our next one. And Tulsa Tech is just rolling out the red carpet to work with us. Our ARN workers, we had our 5th graduating class at the local Union Hall 584. And want to thank some of you all for, having us to work with the local union halls. I know Chuck Hoskins Sr. is one of the iron workers, and I know that Curtis is, and Buell, you had some input in on that a long time ago with our union halls, and they've been really good to help us get those guys placed. And they're making good money. That's the good thing about it, is we want them to be making more than minimum wage. We will actually have a class in January, and we'll have one in March. Linda Sachs and Larry Daugherty out of our Tulsa office have been coordinating that. They also coordinated the culinary, and Marsha White out of our prior office also assisted with that. Truck driver training, we met with them down at Salisaw, and we're getting ready to move that truck driver training program to Muskogee, and we're also moving it to Stillwell, and we're going to be moving it up to Kansas. There is a lot of trucking going on over in Arkansas, and we've got several businesses over there that are wanting to partner with us to get some of those guys hired. And so the Drumright people met with us last week, and Daryl and George are working with them to try to get that training in other locations. So hopefully we'll be able to get some truck drivers some pretty good jobs. After the first of the year, we're going to start HVAC, plumbing, and electrical, working with the VOTAC at Northeast area and at Indian Capital. And then we've got heavy equipment that started Monday last week here in Tahlequah, and we had 13 people in the heavy equipment class. First time we've ever had heavy equipment. And then we also started masonry over in Stillwell at the old Jack Carlton Body Shop, which is right across the tracks from the VOTAC. There was 18 that signed up for masonry. And so we're excited about that. And George is coordinating the one in Tahlequah, and Daryl's got the one in Stillwell. Lead-based paint training, Don Greenfeather is working on that. That started today in Tulsa at the Tulsa office, he and Christine Rogers. We've got quite a bit of training going on. Jeff said to remind everybody that day training is still trying to serve everybody. He's trying to serve everybody that walked in the door this week, and he'll serve as many as he can for next week. And then after that, it'll be tapered off for the rest of the year till the new fiscal year starts. We've had some requests from some high school students, and I know that a couple of you council members called us about this. All of our money, our federal money, and all of our money is geared for adults. And even though these students that are in high school are 18 years of age, they're still under their mother and dad's care, and they're still in high school. And it'd be nice if we could serve them, but that's gonna open the portals for every high school student in the 14 counties. Because if you serve one, you have to serve everybody, and you have to open it up for everybody. And we just can't do that. We feel like that the adults are the people that need the training so that they can make a living for the kids. So we're not opening the door for those 18-year-olds. Now, we told them about summer youth in the summer months, and they can come and make application for that. We have open house scheduled this Friday. Our theme is Superheroes Christmas. We have lots of superheroes in the Cherokee Nation. We'll have a banner up down on the other end of the building, and if you want to write some superheroes in there that you are working with, well, feel free to do so, but we would encourage you to come back for open house on Friday. This place will be packed. It was the last 2 years, and we expect a good turnout. I know that you all have your open house tomorrow, and I know that there'll be a good turnout for it, because everybody wants to come and eat your food and visit with you all. We'll have door prizes, refreshments, and we'll have displays up. Nikki Baker told us last year when they put their display up for the foster care program, she said they got a lot of bites for foster parents, and it's a good way to do some public relations for your program and let the public know what you're doing. And it's an opportunity that doesn't come around very often. We sent out some firefighters today. Willard Mounts and Josh Winnell worked with Nason Morton and his staff, Debbie Ray, Peggy, Guy, Brenda Lance, and they were trying to get these people hired on temporary status through Cherokee Nation so they could go to work for the Forest Service. And we're coordinating with a couple of other fire programs in the state, because we were the only tribe to get this grant through the Forest Service, so that we could have several crews that could go out and they could rotate out. We've also got another crew that will go out Wednesday. And I just want to commend Willard and them, because they were here Saturday trying to get the paperwork finished and completed. We will have students here helping Gail tomorrow with the serving, and then we'll also have students here serving on Friday. And I would just like to do a shout out for our culinary students. We've hired Debbie Lanier, who was the manager for the Flint Creek Steakhouse at Siloam Springs. She'd worked up there at the casino when it was Bingo Outpost 20 years ago. And when they hired Linda Lear and put her up here, well, we went and stole Debbie Lanier, and Debbie's been working on her degree, and she's almost got her degree, and she is really excited about working with her culinary. She's been on board for about 3.5, going on 4 months, and she's coordinating our culinary students. And we get calls all the time, can they go do this, can they do that? And one thing I would remind everybody, it is a training program, and they do have to get so many hours in on their TARs, but this time of the year they realize that they're going to be called on to do a lot of stuff for the community, and we get points through the Department of Labor for any community service the students do. So I just want to do a shout out for our culinary students and Miss Lanier, because they've really been working hard with the programs and the tribe here in the last 2 months, trying to serve everybody on the needs that they're needing. We will be going after another Department of Labor grant. We met last week. There is a Department of Labor grant similar to one that we submitted about 2 years ago. It is for 16 to 29 years of age group. It's for training and jobs, and it's also for people that are coming out of the Correction Center, which is Daryl Legg's program, and also Voc Rehab. So it fits Brenda's, Daryl's, Jeff's, and George's. So we're going to ask for $3 to $4 million over a 4-year period. We feel very confident that we hit every one of the criteria on that grant, but we don't know whether we'll get it or not. But it is due the first part of March, so we're going to be coming back before you with information about the program later after the first of the year. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, your report, Diane. This Councilman Buzzard.
I just have a comment and a question, Diane. I noticed on your report you're implementing a new database system. What is all that going to entail on that database?
When we submitted the sector partnership grant, that 6.5 million, that was one of the things that we could put in the grant. And it's an area that we've been trying to work on this database for quite some time. And we put it in there, and the Department of Labor has approved it. We don't know exactly when we're gonna be able to get it done. The first year we tried to get it, the person that was gonna go after it, I guess they disbanded their business. And that's one of the reasons why we didn't do it. So now we're trying to go back at it in another angle.
And
I
think,
don't know whether we'll get it done or not this year, but we will next year for sure.
and I hope you get it. And the reason I say the database has really been an important part of what I'd like to see done in Terrell, because with all the programs that you're implementing, it's for the welding, masonry, plumbing, air conditioning, heating and air. I've noticed on a lot of our construction sites, I see a lot of people speaking non-English or Cherokee on it. And I would hope this database would help get those people jobs, because if they got the training to do it, then we should be more demanding on those contractors. I got a job close to my home up there, and I was up there the other day, and I couldn't understand half the people working up there. So hopefully with this database, we'll have a good contact where we can get these people that are trained and get into that. Another, if we could track those people that we go through our welding classes, HAV and electrical, plumbing, and see where they're working at. So it's almost the same way with educational people here. We pay $2,000 a semester for scholarship, but who knows where that database is, and who graduated and who got that degree, and if they're working now. I mean, it's just out there, but nobody knows what they're doing. So I'm happy to see this database, so if we can track those people, I'd certainly like to see it done.
Catherine Patterson in our file room has a tracking system, which is a card system. It's, yeah, maybe it's antiquated, but I can go back and identify all the welders that we've trained. I can go back and identify the people that we've sent to nursing school. And I can tell you which counties they're in. Now, you asked me, are they working? Now, I won't be able to do that, but I can tell you who all we've trained.
Well, that's good. I think the database will do that. Will help us, especially for the plumbers and air conditioning and electrical people like that. I mean, it's good that they've got the training, but I like to see them working, and I think we can control some of that by our construction that we have on the hospital. Because these subcontractors are going in there and just bringing who they want, and I realize they've got to have their top people in there, but a lot of them can use some of our people, and that's what we're doing. And I think we can track them a little bit closer with this database.
I agree. Thank
Anyway,
you.
good work, Diane.
I know that Eric Shoemaker with C&B, he was one of our speakers at our graduation, and Eric said that we've expended several dollars in the culinary, and that's one of the areas where they have a revolving door. And Eric said that he would work on his end to see that we tried to get everybody in the door. He said even if some of them have to start out as a dishwasher before they can actually move up on these career ladders, he said at least we're gonna get them employed. And that's what our training is all about, especially in that culinary area. Some of them may have to start out in an area and work their way up, depending on how much training they've had prior to coming into that.
Well, I'm glad to see that the masonry training and electrical and welding stuff, you know, a lot of our citizens, that's basically what they're doing. I'm also happy about the higher education program too. I think there's a good mix that we need to do both. So
Thank you, sir.
doing a good job.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, Councilman. Any other questions? Good report, Diane. Hey,
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And the food for Thanksgiving was scosty.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Executive Director's Report, Ron Etheridge. I'd like to thank Jennifer Pigeon as well for your college and career night. Me and Councilman Warner was attendance of, and it was a big success. We had over 200 people there, had presenters from FAFSA, from universities, and I just want to commend you guys.
Thank
It
you.
was good.
It's hard to follow, Diane. That's why I used to try to sit by her in school. She helped me out a lot. I've tried to get out and visit your communities, and I've been able to make about 5 counties and try to go and visit with the superintendent of schools in respective counties and see what's going on, and let them know that what we're trying to do and how we're trying to help, and we're always there, phone call away, if they want to talk. We understand that here coming this next semester, we have a lot of schools that funding-wise are going to be in dire straits. And it's just a situation where, you know, funds are, and they know it coming in. They knew there's going to be a cut, and you know, there's probably going to be a situation where you may be in a respective county where a school district may have trouble making it. It's just that simple. So we want to let them know if we can be of assistance in any way, we're going to try to do so. And there's only so much money there. And the thing that we try to do is we know that they're getting their JOM money, we know they're getting their MVT money, and the rest of it, we're going to try to put a grip on it just as much as we can, so possibly we can help in the end when there is the situation that they're going to be confronted with. So anyway, we had the meeting the other night, and I happened to be at another meeting, wasn't able to attend, but Jennifer, give her credit and a pat on the back for this, because she started this. This is the first year of it, and you know, she's going to talk about it a little bit, and then possibly another meeting. So go ahead and report on that if you would.
All right, first of all, we wanted to apologize to Councilman Crittenden and Council Lady Hargis for overlapping on your community meeting night. When we first started planning in September and checked calendars, they were a little clear, so we're kind of looking at that for our upcoming meeting. But we also wanted to thank Councilman Walkingstick and Councilman Warner for attending. Councilman Walkingstick and Warner both gave speeches to the crowd, so they were very thankful for that. Also want to thank the staff for putting this together. We had all of our staff in attendance. The parents and the students were able to meet the advisors that they'll interact with from this point forward. And a lot of the students that are on our concurrent program were in attendance, and they got to meet Brenda, who they've already been interacting with for a semester or two. So we're proud of that. We had over 250 people in attendance. We had 12 of our colleges represented, and we also included the local VOTEC, you know, so they could share the information. If somebody didn't want to go to college, we'd have an additional resource for them. So with it being so successful, we are looking for a spring event to be held up north. We're looking at dates and facilities, so as soon as we get that kind of narrowed down a little more, we'll be in contact. So, thank you.
Good report. Any questions? Saying that, you guys have a Merry Christmas.
Okay, Merry Christmas to y'all.
It's,
Hey, one more comment, Mr. Etheridge.
yes, sir.
There was a comment made earlier about collecting information on graduation rate and so forth, some of our numbers. Could you, you probably already got most of that. I know every time I go by your office, I get the information that I need, but share some of that with the rest of the council members there.
Okay.
Graduation rate, northeastern Rogers County, or wherever most of our Cherokee students are.
Okay, we can put
Thank you.
together some
Appreciate
information.
it. Thank you,
All right.
Mr. Chairman.
Appreciate you guys.
Okay.
Have a good. From Head Start, we got Miss Verna Thompson.
Good afternoon. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have based on my written report submitted.
Any questions for Miss Verna? Saying none, great report, Verna. Hey, hey, Verna, you have a Merry Christmas.
You too.
All right.
Sit down.
All right. Sequoia Schools, we got Mr. Leroy Qualls. Great report.
Good afternoon, everyone. You've got my report there, and all I'm going to do is reflect on the updates since then. That first item there was about the EOI testing. It started the first week of December. I want to explain it a little bit more in depth. We're still testing. Makeup test for us will be Thursday and Friday, and that's how much time, instructional time, that takes out of the classroom. So it makes it, plus we have semester tests this week also. So it's kind of crazy. Teachers are stressed out trying to get all of their benchmarks in, their objectives done. And as a school, it's tough. The first day, we had our computers crash. You know, and that makes it even tougher. So we tried to shut down everything electronic while we're taking the tests, and it's been pretty smooth here lately, but it's more of a task than just meets the eye. Those kids have to have those passed to graduate, and it's something that the state does mandate. So with that one sentence there, I knew it wouldn't explain what it was about, and I still haven't explained, but I'll answer any questions that you might have when I complete my report. Also, our academic team made it to the area tournament. That's a good thing. Second year in a row that they've placed in the regional. The area tournament will be in January, and if they place in that, they'll go to the state tournament. And if they make it, it'll be the first one ever from Sequoia. We've had some firsts this year. Our cheerleaders made it for the first time in the competition. It's kind of old news, but the football team was the only team that we've had at Sequoia to make the first round of the playoffs and win a game. Make it to the second round, excuse me. And we've got some players of the year there for their positions. Running back of the year was Justin Hooper, and offensive lineman of the year was Hunter Soap, and the defensive back of the year within the district was Kyle Sanders. Kids did a great job of leading their program. Basketball team, just to summarize that, both teams finished second, runner-up in the Tahlequah tournament this past weekend. I saw some of you there. You have Van Buren, you have Tulsa Memorial, you have Southmore, Muskogee JV, Tahlequah, and some other schools. Good competition. Our kids played great. Most of you know about our MVP from state tournaments not playing this year. She tore her knee up before the season started. Kind of missed her, but you know, we played some good teams and made a good showing. One thing I'm going to mention there is that during the tournament, all 3 nights, I visited with all 5 Tahlequah principals. I sat with 2 of them Saturday night, and 4 of those commented how well our kids conducted themselves, how impressed they were with their the way they carry themselves. And this is, if you're not following me, this is the first time that Sequoia's played at Tahlequah that I know of, okay? All they've heard is the old stories, and you know, it's not just what we've done this year, but all the people that's been at Sequoia in years past has helped create what they mentioned the other night. So as a superintendent, that made me very proud of our student body and our players. We play at home tomorrow night against McAllister, and then our girls will play the 28th on a Monday morning at 9 o'clock at ORU against Choctaw, and that'll be the Tournament of Champions. It'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And it'll have teams from all classes that are very good. What is not on here is we play the 2nd of January, which is Saturday afternoon at 3:30 against Cassia Hall at home. So we've got things going on while school is out. And we come back that first night from the break. School starts back the 4th. That night we play in the Muskogee Shriners Classic, and that's always a great tournament for a great cause. Our wrestlers made a good showing. Noah Wilson, who made the state tournament last year, won the Okmulgee wrestling tournament a week or so ago, and Bradley Davis won the consolation championship. Noah's a young kid. I think he's either sophomore or junior, so he's got a good start at Sequoia in wrestling. And our band has been very active, as you can see there. They've participated at Wagner and at Tahlequah and at Muskogee in Christmas parades. And I even caught wind that they went down to the big city of Marble City to play for them down there. We'll have a Christmas concert the 17th, Thursday night at 6:30 in the new gym. And the high school and elementary both will have a Christmas dinner, if you would, for lunch. So if you're in the neighborhood, anytime from 10 o'clock to 12:30, come by and eat at the Sequoia cafeteria. Immersion School will have their program. If you've never been to that, it's pretty neat. It's all in Cherokee. And I think I was showing our visitors from Haskell here today the podium that the immersion school used for kindergarten graduation. It's about this tall. So those kids are pretty cute, and they do a good job with their program. Their teachers do an outstanding job of getting them ready for their program. Well, that's pretty much concludes my report. Our student application and ready to go probably mid-February. Probably the sooner they get those in, the better. One modification we made on our student applications that we're looking at for next year is giving points to kids that stay in the dorm. 5, I believe. And, you know, with our numbers down this year, with the construction that we've had going on, we're going to try to build that population back up for next year. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Qualls, on the selection committee for the kids for next year, I'm not sure how many IEP students we have over at Sequoia, but how much do we get, or do you know ballpark what we get on special ed monies?
It's pretty healthy,
Okay.
special ed.
All right. Now, are we losing those dollars? Is it use it or lose it, or are those carryover
We haven't
dollars?
lost any here lately. We've found a way to spend it.
Is it use it or lose it monies?
Pretty
Or is it
much.
carryover?
Pretty much. Our GT money is pretty good, and our special ed money is pretty good.
Okay.
And in my opinion, in the state schools, which I've been in all my life, compared to them, they're overfunded.
Okay.
Our gen fund is underfunded.
Are we having problems spending our special ed funds, or are we good there?
We're spending it.
We're spending good.
Yeah.
Okay. Any
We
questions?
look for opportunities, though, if anyone comes up with something that we can legally spend it for.
That's it. Any questions? Great report, Mr. Qualls. Merry
Thank you.
Christmas.
Thank you.
And see you guys Friday. Cultural tourism, Ms. Molly Jarvis.
Afternoon. I think I was last here in September, so this is our quarterly report. Couple of the capital projects we are working on is an exterior lighting package for the Capitol building downtown. Now that the exterior has been fully renovated, we want to light it at night, so we will get bids back for that in January. And then we're still working on our Celine master planning, and expect to have something to our board and for everyone to review early in the first part of the year. November was a busy month for us with the Native American Heritage Month. All our museums were free, and we hosted the Rock Your Mocks class for Rock Your Mocks Day on November 15th. That class is always sold out, and each person gets to make their own pair of moccasins. And then in October, we had fall make and break activities at each of the museums for students on fall break. And then right now we have on exhibit at the Supreme Court Museum the first Cherokee Christmas. So there's a couple of exhibit panels and talk about showcasing the first Christmas celebration within the Cherokee Nation host, and that tradition, some of those were brought to us by the Moravian missionaries. Again, in the fall, busy time for us in November. We hosted more than 2,000 students through our museums on our free or with the grant tours that we offer. And then we also have community tours that are free. So if anyone in your community has a group, offer those free for community groups. It's hard to believe. It seems like it's been a long time ago, but since I went very, very well. We had about 160 artists, and again, this was our 10th year, but it's still a very, very held around the country that have more in the year of 50, 60, 70-year histories. So we're still very young, but very excited about the quality of the artists that we get, and are starting to see a lot more collectors coming in to see those artists year after year. And then I'll wrap up with the Tahlequah gift shop and all of our retail locations. There are 7 other retail locations that include the Welcome Centers and the Gallery at Hard Rock, and then each museum site. They have been very busy and have new apparel for winter. I think lots of Christmas shopping is going on there. So we also have a new item in the gift shop, and that is the new book of the New Testament in Cherokee that's out. And so that's currently for sale just about within the last week at the Tahlequah gift shop and online, just in time for the holidays. That's my report, unless there are any questions.
Yes, Councilor Vasquez.
A quick question, Molly. Do we have the Pendleton for women in the stores yet?
No, Cheryl's here, and she works very, very hard on increasing our Pendleton line, and that is a line, like I said, Cheryl's been increasing it over time, and just everything we bring in seems to sell really well. So I think we do have an opportunity. I don't know if some of you know, we are moving the gallery at Hard Rock to, that'll happen next year, and I think we'll have an opportunity to really increase the amount of Pendleton we sell, and Cheryl, I know, wants to bring more into this gift shop also.
Second question, speaking of that move, where will it go? Do you know yet?
Yes, down closer to the convention area, which those convention guests and hotel guests are really our customers.
Right, thank you.
Would you ever consider moving the Cherokee Art Market, the date? Would you ever consider moving that to another weekend?
You know, we've
For a
looked.
selfish reason.
We have a feeling I know what that reason could be. We've looked at some other timing.
Oh, you Texas?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We've
You always-
looked at some timing on that, and really everything conflicts with something.
I know.
But that seems to be a well-established weekend for us, and although I do know it does conflict with a certain
Thank
event.
I never get.
Well, if you guys,
Okay.
just in case you guys are wondering, Karen Walkenstick, yes, she is my cousin, if you guys were wondering that. Anyways, Councilman Buzzard?
Molly, can you give us a little insight on maybe what's planned over at the Select Courthouse?
Well, we really haven't seen we're working with consultants and a master planning group. We really haven't seen what their proposal is yet, but the items listed there with the walking trails and expanded restrooms, site access, those are all of the items kind of that we've asked for. So we really haven't seen what the proposal will look like yet.
So are they also going to work on the building itself?
There aren't plans for the building, and this is just the site plan. Right, we don't have any interior plans for the building yet.
You know, we've been trying to get this done for the last 15 or 16 years. That's such a beautiful place for the Cherokee Nation to have. The last Supreme Court House left, and I don't know, I guess I'm just frustrated. It's probably one of our best landmarks is left, and it's still not finished. And I don't know how to go about getting people more involved with it to finish the thing up, because there's no more made like it, and it's just, I don't know, it's been an ongoing thing for 15 or 20 years as far as I know, and it doesn't seem like it's moving very fast.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this site plan will give us the vision of what the entire property will be, because it also includes the additional 60 acres that were purchased.
Hey, Molly, would you please introduce your staff? I see them in the back there.
Sure. So with me, I mentioned Cheryl Trask, who's our senior manager for retail and tour sales. So Cheryl would be the one that would, or her staff would be the person that would book the community tours or any tours groups that you had. And then also the 8 retail locations that we manage. And those include the museums, welcome centers, the gift shop here at Tahlequah, and the art gallery at Hard Rock. And then Travis Owens, who's our senior manager of cultural resources and planning.
Would you turn this way when you tell the names?
I'm sorry, Travis Owens, our senior manager of cultural resources and planning. He manages all of, I kind of divide it up where I say Cheryl manages everything that's kind of touches the customer, and Travis is managing everything before that point. So all of our construction projects, renovations, exhibit design, the Cherokee Art Market. What am I missing? Those kinds of exhibit planning, some of our special events, the event at NMAI in DC, those types of things.
Good deal.
And then they have a staff of 5 other people.
Good.
Work with
Chief
them.
Burke?
I just want to make a comment. The talk that you received today, Cheryl's the one that made that special effort to make that happen for you council members. So, you know, Travis, we've always worked with them. So let's give Cheryl a nice. They really, Molly, you guys do a good job of keeping the inventory updated in these gift shops. I know everyone in the communities would like to have a gift shop. I'd like to have one in Nycut, population about 50. We don't get much down there, but I know it's not feasible. But we appreciate what you do here.
Thank you.
All right. Good report, Molly. You
Thank-
guys have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. You
All
too.
right. Oh,
One
Councilman
more.
Buzzard?
Molly, I'd
Sorry.
just like you to put it on your radar screen. I know I've missed it before, but Bull Hollow, that old building down there.
Yes, I talked to Counselor Snell the other
Okay,
day.
all right. Well, we just want to keep it up front.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair.
You do it. Thank you, Molly.
Thank you.
All right, old business, none pending. New business, Chief Bird, would you take this, please?
Yes, we are honored here today, and I want to commend education staff for making this happen. I thank Mr. Etheridge and Mr. Walkenstick for honoring our visitor here today. It's Dr. Chanel from Haskell Indian Nations University, and she gave us a report on our students here. She is of the Perry Band and Kickapoo tribe, and she's been the acting president, or the president, since 2014, appointed by Assistant Secretary Washburn. And how she came to that is with her experience, her needs, knowledge of the needs of the students, her rapport in the communities, and her vision for the institution that made her the right choice. So at this time, let's give a warm applause for Dr. Chenault for being here with us today.
If you would, just come up to the front here, please. If you would, just kind of walk us through your report here.
Okay.
Just kind of tell us how we can better assist you and vice versa.
First of all, just let me say that it is a true honor to be here and to have had the opportunity this morning to visit the school and many of the programs and to get to visit with folks in various positions. And much of what it is that you all are doing is really considered best practices at multiple levels. So you really need to be proud of what it is that you're accomplishing here. For those of you who are not familiar with Haskell, we are celebrating our 131st year, and we're an example of how we can take a bad situation and turn it around. And so that's much of what it is that we've been doing. Haskell offers 4 bachelor's degrees, one in elementary teacher ed, business administration, environmental science, and Indigenous and American Indian Studies. And we also offer Associate of Arts and Associate of Science degrees with 13 different emphases. During the past year, we have been working, well, the past 2 years actually, to create partnerships, and one of the things that we recognize is the importance of working with our tribal communities to ensure that we're really preparing students for college success. And again, looking at what you're doing, you're just right at the front of many of those efforts. My leadership, we've been focused on raising the bar of expectation. We realize how important it is that our students are really prepared for the realities of what it is that they're going to experience when they leave that stage and go back into their communities or work in other kinds. So we really are focused on preparing students not only to work in tribal communities, and that's our priority, helping them to be prepared to advance sovereignty, to advance self-determination in positions that they might be working in, as well as to work in a number of mainstream organizations. So if you'd like, we can flip to the first, and we've one of the things that we've done this year, we established, or actually last year, a Center for Institutional Effectiveness to generate the data that we need in order to make decisions. And so this report is from that office, and it outlines the number of each of the bands of Cherokee students that attend Haskell, and certainly the Cherokee Nation students lead those numbers, and you see the trend from fall of 12 over to fall of 15. We are seeing somewhat of a decline in the number of Cherokee students, and so one of our tasks now is to begin visiting or surveying those students to identify why is that trend going downward. However, I should also point out that nationally, mainstream universities are also seeing a decline, as well as the other tribal universities. So that's the first chart that looks like this. The second chart And you've got two charts side by side, and that looks at enrollment of females versus male students. The Cherokee Nation students are unique in comparison to students at other tribal colleges. Typically, the pattern is that we see more female students in college than male students, and there's been a lot of effort in a lot of places to try to understand why male students aren't continuing their education and how to reverse that. Well, for the Cherokee students, we have more male students attending than females, so something you're doing is you're doing it well. The next two charts, and we have little skinny bar charts. These charts look at the enrollment patterns, and what it is that we see with the Cherokee Nation students is that they tend to attend Haskell for the 2-year programs, and then they transfer on. So my assumption is that they're probably completing their gen ed requirements because we have only 4 bachelor's degrees, and then are transferring on elsewhere to earn the degree in the field that they are interested in. By completing their gen ed courses at Haskell, and that's the maths, the sciences, the English courses, it's a savings for the nation to have them complete those 2 years at Haskell as well. So you've got two charts that look at the trends in terms of associate and bachelor's degrees. Then you're going to come to a section that looks at the trends for the Cherokee Nation. The first chart there, the Cherokee Nation students have typically been at the in the top 10, 1 or 2, and so again, what you see is the Cherokee Nation are the second largest student group at Haskell for both the fall of 14 and the spring of 2015, and that pattern has been pretty consistent over an extended period of time. It's typically you're jockeying with the Dene Nation and Cherokee Nation typically. The next chart, it's another bar chart, and it's the Cherokee Nation students by age and range. What we tend to see in the population of Cherokee students that attend Haskell is that they really do fit that classic definition of a traditional college student. They tend to be younger, and they really, you know, their range is that 18 to 23-year-old range, and really kind of a period of time when they're figuring out, if I don't like math or science, should I really be going into a healthcare field, you know, and making decisions about what major they are going to end up pursuing. And then the next chart, it's a line chart, and it shows similar information there. Again, and then you have a Cherokee Nation number of semesters attended. Again, this chart also demonstrates again is that the majority of students tend to stay for the 4 semesters, with smaller numbers that continue with a 4-year program. And we didn't run the numbers for this, but just off the top of my head, I think that the leading major is business administration, with the second being environmental science, but that's anecdotal, so let me check the data on that one. The following chart is on the persistence rates, and Cherokee Nation students have a very high persistence rate, and that means continuing from one semester to the next semester. You don't always see these kinds of high persistence rates, so again, you all are doing something here that is helping these students to acquire the skills that they need so that they don't throw in the towel too early. And they're trying to find ways to understand or to continue in their program, and these are the kind of persistence rates that you really want to be able to see. The next chart, it looks at the cost benefits for attending Haskell. It costs students $715 a semester to attend Haskell, and that includes housing, that includes the food service, that includes books, activity fees, everything that you can imagine. And so what the staff did is they did a comparison with the cost of Northeastern, Coffeyville, and Northeastern Oklahoma A&M. And so you see those rates there, what the differences are. So by students attending Haskell again for those first 2 years, it's saving the Cherokee Nation anywhere from 28,000 to, looks like on the low end, 28 to 21,000, 23,000, excuse me, by attending for those 2 years. So currently, with all of the bands, in the fall of 2015, we've got 76 Cherokee Nation students that are identified attending Haskell. With the current rate of fees, we do not charge tuition at Haskell because Haskell was established in partial fulfillment of treaty and trust obligations. And so while we have increased fees, you know, a couple of years ago, it was about $220 a semester. We've increased it to $700, but there's no way that a student is going to find a more affordable college experience, whether it's for 2 years or whether it's for the 4 years, in a very unique setting. The thing that we hear most often from our students, typically we have 750 to 800 students attending Haskell from about 130 tribes from throughout the United States and about 40 different states represented. So the opportunity to be at a school with an all-tribal population is the thing that we hear most from students that makes the Haskell experience so unique. They don't have to explain themselves. They don't have to get caught up in not being accepted. You know, just the whole explaining. I have to go home for an extended period for X, Y, or Z. So that's a real plus for the students that attend, and it creates considerable savings for each tribe whose students attend Haskell, and those funds can then be invested elsewhere in your budget to meet the needs of the nation. And for some tribes, it's more, that margin is more critical than for others. So again, the cost. And then the last chart, Haskell does a lot of business with Cherokee Nation. And as you see here on this chart, that business amounts to about $3.3 million in several industries. Haskell, like other, and I heard some of the comments earlier, Haskell is currently, it's federally funded. We have had about a decade of level funding, and so that does impact your ability to grow programs, to increase services, to increase faculty. And so we have focused for some time on increasing grant funding. This summer we just spent about $4 million on infrastructure, plumbing renovation, lighting projects, and a number of those projects we did business with your LLC, Cherokee Nation. So, you know, and then the other thing that we've done, almost 3 years ago, 2 years ago, we identified grant funding, and we have reestablished and invested about $500,000 in the Haskell Foundation, so that it can solidify its organization and structure to begin receiving funds. So as we partner with tribes and their students come to us, I think it's going to be a win-win for both sides of the equation. So that's my report, and I'm sticking to it.
Is there any questions for Dr. Chenault? Very good report. Councilman Budger?
I just got a comment. I certainly like the last page of your report here. The other thing that I want to just, and I'm sure you already know, but on the presentation of Indian kids going or Cherokee kids up there, the other thing I like about Haskell is the culture aspect of it. You see a lot of different cultures from different tribes that you don't see in a lot of our other colleges. So those things are good. Matter of fact, I went to Haskell when I was a little bit younger. So I thank you for coming and giving the presentation. I think you did a good job on doing it. And I think the other thing we need to do at Haskell is we need to bring football back. That brings a lot of those young kids that play
Yep.
football and get their education. The other thing I'd like to say is my daughter Haley has just become the chairman of the Haskell Foundation, so I'm looking forward for her to work with you guys up there at Haskell School also. So thank you for coming.
Thank you. And certainly, we recognize, and one of the things that will be a focus is the use of recruiting and marketing teams being sent out to areas where you've got multiple larger groups of students that are interested in attending college. So we've had some discussions with a couple of folks. We will be here the next time you have one of those events here to represent Haskell. In terms of football, that's a big investment issue. $2 million alone for repairs to our crumbling historic stadium. We have a new AD. He's actually a member of your tribe, Todd Davis. And, you know, we have renderings of renovations that could be done to the stadium and actually to create a new complex. But that requires deep pockets. And, you know, we have to make choices on a daily basis about, do we invest in the academic programs or do we invest in the auxiliary programs? And in the case of football, it became a issue of safety with all of the research out now on concussions and long-term damage from that. We were suiting up our athletes in uniforms that were well used, and helmets that were not safe. And as a mother of 3 sons that, you know, played football in another era, the safety issue, you know, you can't keep on refurbishing and never purchasing the kind of helmets that other schools that we compete against purchase on a regular basis. So it became one of the hardest decisions that I've made. And I'm still getting beat up over it, but, you know, I'm strong. I'm a Prairie Bend woman, so we will find money. Mr. Davis has indicated that, you know, we didn't even have coaches. We're using volunteers, and that's not how you field a college-level football team. You know, so we've got to do better. But we've got to find people that are willing to invest, and not just for 1 year, because we can't go through this every year, you know, pass around the hat and put into the football program. So I would welcome any donations for that program, and preferably they'd be in the 6-figure range. So, yeah.
Councilman Austin?
You mentioned that you had four degree programs
Yes.
that are a bachelor.
Right.
degree. What are those for?
Business administration, elementary teacher education, environmental science, and Indigenous and American Indian studies. We also at NCAI began surveying tribal leaders, and so the thing that's useful for me when I go out and ask tribes, what are the needs in your workforce? What kind of people do you need? Where are what kind of positions are you having a difficult time filling? So if we know that, we can start looking to the future and, you know, determining how we're going to fund those programs that are needed most by tribes. That's why we exist.
Thank you.
Okay.
Councilman Wade?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and we heard about the football cuts all the way down here.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Chanel.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming here today.
Certainly.
We appreciate it. Do you guys do any online education?
We are looking at beginning that process. One of the things that we did this summer as well is a significant investment in our technology infrastructure, and things are lining up. You know, that is a possibility. It's tricky to do online courses, though, because every state that you offer those classes in, you have to meet those state requirements and pay those state fees. And, you know, we are serving students from throughout the United States, and it's going to be pretty costly if we try to reach out to all areas. So we're looking at how to best approach that delivery of online courses. But then we also hear from our students the thing that's unique and incredible about Haskell is not just what happens in the classroom, but all of that cross-cultural learning that occurs, you know, whether it's on the fields, in the classrooms, on internships, by getting to know folks from other tribes and beginning to understand and recognize that although we're very different, oftentimes there are these similarities that we have across the board, and the intent is shared, but we do things in slightly different ways. You know, so we also want to preserve that aspect of Haskell.
Can you give me about a 2-minute Haskell from start to today? I know Haskell's an old school.
Yeah.
How old is it?
131 years old. Haskell was established in 1884 as the U.S. Industrial Training School, and this was during the era of the Kill the Indian, Save the Man, and removing children from their families. And so that's how the institution was established. Over history, it's had multiple transformations. It became, after U.S. Industrial Training School, it became Haskell Institute, and when it was established, we were taking little kids up to older kids. And then it morphed into Haskell Institute, began serving high school students. We added a vocational program at that point in time. Late 60s, 1969, Haskell morphed into Haskell Indian Junior College, and then in 98, Haskell Indian Nations University. So that's the brief history of the institution. It was designed to strip away and take away our culture. Students were prohibited and punished for speaking in their languages. Students were not allowed to talk to their brothers and sisters if they were all attending there. And so what I see Haskell as today as that mechanism for healing and reversing and repairing those social systems and structures that were damaged by those kinds of policies and practices. Haskell will never be it will never be a place where students are going to be oppressed for being who it is that they are as tribal people. And instead, our intent is to provide the pipeline of professionals and scholars that are committed to taking our tribes forward for the next 500 years.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions, Dr. Schnapp? Dr. Schnapp, good report. Appreciate you
Thank you.
guys
Okay.
coming. If you would,
All right.
wait around. And would you mind introducing your colleague?
Yes. Mr. Stephen Prue, he's my executive assistant, and he's the one that coordinates everything of significance at the university. So, Stephen
We
Prue.
appreciate you.
Yes.
Announcements, saying none. Here, motion to adjourn. So moved. Second discussion. All those in favor? Announcements?
No, let's just take 5 minutes.
Okay.
Until she changes tape and get this last committee over with, then we've got council meetings.
All
Is
those
that all
in
right with everybody?
Favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Adjourn.